Wagwan funny man, it's your boy Winnie, back again with another video, and today I've decided to review Beef. More importantly, we're reviewing Beef Season 1, Episode 5, right? It's called Such Inward Secret Creatures, and the title, it sounds kind of poetic, but the episode, it's messy in the best way. Things get awkward, emotional, and honestly, just straight up weird at times. Let's get into it. Alright, so our first scene is Danny accidentally meeting George, right? So Danny, still reeling from the Vegas disaster and Amy ghosting him, randomly sees George, Amy's husband, out on a bike ride, right? And now Danny's not really the type to just let things go, as we saw in Season 1, Episode 1. So he pretends to bump into George and introduces himself as Zane. And it's not just a meet cute situation. Danny's playing a long game here, trying to get close to George to get revenge on Amy. But George is super open and nice. Like, he immediately starts talking to Danny like they're old pals. It catches Danny straight off guard. Back at his place, Danny pulls together Bobby and Michael, his kinda clueless crew, and pitches them a plan. Fake a plumbing issue at George and Amy's house and use it as a cover to break in and mess stuff up. He's still holding a grudge and wants to ruin Amy's life from the inside. He's kind of weirdly excited about it though. Even tells a story about peeing in a bathroom. Like, dude, come on. Meanwhile, Isaac is pissed. Isaac, Danny's cousin, is stuck at home with an ankle monitor from the whole Vegas drama, right? And he's not really happy with Danny. He's blaming him for everything. Danny tries to smooth things over and pitches this: George house job. So basically they intend to go to George's house to mess things up, right? But Isaac says, nope, you screwed me, you owe me. So Danny gets the crew to do the job anyway, just without Isaac's blessing, definitely setting the stage for more drama between those two. Danny gets closer to George, however. So Danny, still going by Zane, gets invited inside George's house, and this part honestly is kind of unexpected. George starts opening up about how he's feeling lost. He talks about his art career, how his dad's death really messed him up, and how Amy's been distant lately. Like, he just unloads all this deep emotional stuff on Danny, a guy he just met. And Danny, he's clearly not prepared for this. You can see him starting to feel guilty. He came in ready to pull off a scam, but now he's getting a real insight into George's life. And he realizes maybe George isn't the enemy, but rather it's Amy. Amy's emotional spiral. Meanwhile, Amy is spiraling. She invites Paul, Danny's younger brother, to her hotel room. They hang out, hook up again, but it gets messy. Paul asks for money and Amy just snaps. She calls him a bitch and things get awkward fast. He walks out hurt and she's left alone, crying on the floor, right? The emotional toll of everything is catching up with her. She's juggling so much: the stress of a job, her marriage crumbling, and the road rage situation from Season 1, Episode 1. And it's all starting to boil over. Then we discover that George is cheating. So back at George's end, there's a big reveal. He's been cheating on Amy, right? So he's been having an emotional affair with Amy, the girl we saw earlier, who works for Amy, with Mia, who works for Amy. And he even says, I love you, on the phone. So now it's not just Amy who's slipping, but George is also having a divorce. I'm in a breakup, my bad. Break-in disaster. Now, this is where basically this is the climax of the episode. Danny's crew decides to go through with the break-in, but without Danny's consent or without Isaac's consent. And even though he started feeling about it, they go ahead and do it. But they don't know that George's mum, Fumi, is already inside the house trying to quietly take some of her late husband's art to sell for cash because she's broke. But also, it brings up this concern about whether Fumi has heard Amy and Paul, Danny's younger brother, making love. So it's really like, has she heard, has she not, will she snitch, will she not? Because in Season 1, Episode 1, we're already introduced to their bad relationship. So Fumi might be the catalyst for their messy breakup. So when Bobby and Michael break in, she freaks out and grabs Amy's gun, fires it, but it doesn't hit anyone. But then she trips and falls down the stairs, and we don't really see what happens next, but it's bad, like hospital bad. It's a full-on mess. So, what this episode really shows, a lot happens, but what I love about this episode is how it really digs into what everyone's hiding. So we've got Amy, who's been sleeping with Paul, Danny's brother. We have Danny's brother, who's pretending to be Zane to get in touch with George, and we have George, who's sleeping with Mia. But yeah, everything's crazy. Danny's out here pretending to be someone else just to get revenge, but he starts catching real feelings. George seems like this chill, artsy guy, but he's low-key cheating, and Amy's holding on by a thread. Even Fumi's got her own secret because of her money issues. The episode title, Such Inward Secret Creatures, totally nails it. Everyone's got something they're ashamed of, hiding, or just trying not to face. So, to wrap it up, where does this leave us? Danny's revenge plan is falling apart, George is cheating, Amy's emotionally wrecked, and Fumi might be seriously hurt, Naomi's also sleeping, and Paul, he's over it. Everything's unraveling, and it's only episode 5. You can really feel the pressure building. Alright, that's the breakdown. If you're watching Beef, you know how deep and messy it gets, and this episode really leads into that. Let me know what you thought of it, and are you still rooting for anyone at this point? Because honestly, everyone's kind of a mess. Catch you next time for episode 6. Stuff's only get wilder from here. But yeah, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with whatever else you want me to review. See you guys next time. Peace.